What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. We've got a new toy to play with. Oh yes. New toys. So we're gonna unbox it first and see what we got here. Ooh, track saw. I'm actually blown away a little bit. This DeWalt is pretty nice. So obviously the first thing I did is I went and sprayed, the whole track, both tracks and the bottom of the saw with some Teflon. Just keeps everything nice, keeps the dirt from sticking. So one thing I did not know, which I'm kind of shocked. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. So I've used the Makita track saw, and the track saw has these two ridges on one side where you can put in these connectors to connect the 8-foot rail. And usually it only comes with one, and I bought two for the other one. And basically they screw in on the back with some grub screws. But the problem was, especially with the 8-foot track with the connectors in the middle, I would always get this bow if I didn't measure or take a straight edge and check that the seam that I had, make sure that it was actually straight. So I thought that's what this was going to be. I thought this was going to be two 4-foot tracks, like two of these with a connector, and it looks like they actually put a hole in the top so you can get to the grub screw from the top. But there is no connector. This is one solid piece. This is one solid rail. So that could be a pro or it could be a con for some people, because you can't really break this down. And I don't know how easily this would store in somebody's work truck, but I didn't buy it for the work truck, I bought it for the shop. So this is the DeWalt. The DeWalt, I don't know. It's DWS 520K. It was like 700 bucks. I just Googled it. DeWalt track saw, and this came up 700 bucks. And I'm like, well, you know what? I'm gonna give it a shot, because the Makita and the Festool tracks are like exactly the same. They're the exact same track. So I don't know. I wanted to take a chance on something different like this here DeWalt, because I like their table saw, and their miter saw for corded stuff is really nice. So I figured I might as well try the track saw. And one thing that's really cool about this track saw the Makita and Festool don't have is this has the rubber splinter guard on both sides of the track. That was the big thing, and still the big thing with my boss's Makita. That edge gets screwed up or it gets chewed up, and then it's done. You have to replace it. At least here, you could just flip the track around and use the other side, or use one side for 45 cuts and one side for just straight cuts. So yeah, this thing is pretty sweet, man. I'm not gonna lie. Look how nice. That glides really nice. And they have some adjustments right here to cinch it so you don't have any slop side to side. Same in the back. That might need a little tighten. See, we're getting a little bit there, so I have to tighten that a little more. Oh, this is different too. Check this out. Oh, and here's another good one, which Makita seemed to fail on big time. Look how long this extension cord is. That's like a 10-foot cord. That's a shop tool. All shop tools should come with 10-foot cords. I don't care. Came with a nice storage box. I'm gonna have to say, Milwaukee, I mean, I asked you guys, and I asked you guys, and I asked you guys, when is your track saw coming out? And you couldn't confirm or deny, but you guys take forever to put out tools. But honestly, I don't know that you guys would be able to beat this. This is pretty nice. Being able to have the track on both sides, or the splinter guard, one solid track. I don't have to worry about bowing. This is nice. So I did see someone else online had these. This particular model has been out for a while, and I saw a review by somebody else on YouTube, and he had the connectors on his in the middle on the 8-foot track, and he said that if he didn't check the middle, that sometimes it would bow, or it would bend a little bit on him. So he had to check it. So this is years later. I mean, this saw has been out for a long time, and now this kit comes with one solid rail. So maybe, you know, maybe they listened to people and fixed it. I'm not sure, because that would be the only problem here. Joining these tracks, you only have one connector in the middle, and that doesn't really. You really need like 2 connectors minimum, I would think. Or none is even better. I like none. But anyways, check this out. Look at the action on this one. It has like a pivot point here. When you feel like you're pushing, with the Makita, you feel like you're pushing, you push forward and the saw goes down. This saw, you kind of push, you use the palm of your hand. Instead of pushing with your thumb, you push with the palm. It's nice. You know, it's different from the Makita, but this is one thing I've noticed with the Makita corded track saw is it's very hard to get the saw at perfectly 90 degrees. Even if you set the preset stops that it has, even if you bump up against those and set it. Oh, and this is in inches. Your depth gauge right here. Yeah, let me make sure you're. So the depth gauge for depth of cut is in inches. Oh my God, that is nice. Makita is in millimeters. It's in metric, which, I mean, it wasn't a huge deal, you know, kind of just know where to set it. But I want to check this for squareness. This is always a pain to check these saws for squareness, because you gotta like push the button, you gotta like, you know, push the track down and try to get a square on. But I just noticed something with this button that's sticking out. Tip it upside down, push it down onto the button, and look at that. Now we can check if I can hold it. It's a bit slimy. Oh yeah, that thing is dead nuts square. Dead nuts. And this is set right at 0. So is there, oh yes, there's 2 grub screws on the bottom. So it has a positive stop at 90 degrees, and right out of the box it is dead nuts. So I don't want to make it sound like the Makita track saw was a terrible saw. It's not. You know, it has decent, actually it has good dust collection. It does pretty good. You hook up the vacuum to the port, it does pretty good. And one thing I noticed the Makita has that this does not, if you're cutting on a 45, you see how the track saw kind of wants to fall off the track. The Makita has this little disc that you could push, and it would scoot underneath this rail, and it would kind of hold it so that the saw didn't fall off the track. I mean, is that a deal breaker? No. And you know, I don't usually cut on 45s anyway. Usually I use track saws for breaking down plywood, you know, for built-ins or cabinets. But here's the thing with the Makita that drove me nuts. So, first thing was connectors on the track, and I will put a short clip of me using the Makita right here. Insert now. Okay, now you've seen that. Good. So, it's not a bad saw. The only thing that I did not like about it is I noticed, you know, after making several cuts, that it wasn't cutting square, and I couldn't figure out why. I had it on 0. Everything was, I was like, yep, it's on 0. I'm against the positive stops. Why is this off? I checked it with my square. It was off. So Makita has the same type of deal. It's got some stops that you can set, and it looks like these have thread locker on them, so they won't. Yep, they have blue thread locker on them. They've been set. So you have this metal plate here at the bottom that comes down and it hits the bottom metal plate, and then you have those grub screws to get it perfectly 90 degrees. So the Makitas, you could have them set, it'll be pointing at 0, and you're stopped against them. If you just push the saw, it has give. So it has give past. So you're hitting the stops, and you're holding it, and you set it. Okay. Flip it over and check it. It was not at 90 degrees. It wasn't even close. So this DeWalt, this feels much more sturdy, much more robust. See, it comes down, hits it. Let me see. Let me get you in here. Let me get you right up in the action here. Yeah, there we go. So if we bring this down to the positive stops and then try to push, there's not an ounce of give here. Nothing. That was the problem with the Makita I found. I don't know if it was just too much plastic in that area, which these are plastic, but that everything else is metal here. Yeah, but see that that has absolutely no give. And we set that down. It's at 0. That is dead nuts. Dead nuts. That is as square gets. So that's nice, being able to just set it right at the stops. So this also has an anti-kickback function. I don't think I will ever use this. I've never had a track saw kick back on me, but if this is important to you, you just undo that. You can push it forward, it will not come back. See? No back, but it will go forward, no back. Alright, so we're going to christen the saw, and we're going to cut these rubber edges. So I had to grab some scrap, so I just grabbed a couple of 2x4s today, which usually, because my shop's, it's a little tight in here, so what I do normally is I'll take some 2x4s and hang them off the table a little bit, you know, put a screw sunk down a little bit, and then I can lay full sheets of plywood across this table and break them down. So I mean, I've got a few sheets to break down this weekend. I need to get going on this job, so the guy's not waiting. I've got a lot of stuff to do, but I want to make sure the saw is ready to go. So I want to make sure I cut all of these rubbers down so those are nice, and I kind of want to see how this compares to the Makita. I want to see how the dust collection is. So that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to just give her a run. Alright, we got the plywood on the table, and I marked out I need to cut this at 35 and cut this at 35 inches. So, I'm lining up the marks, 35, 35. I put the rubber just on top of it so that my pencil line isn't showing anymore, just right on top. And now, to check for squareness, I like to just measure off of this. I guess I'll measure off the center rib in this case, because there's no end. So we've got 31 and a 16th. And a 16th. So we are nice and square. Oh, I shouldn't have taken the tape off. So here's the game changer for me. This is huge. So obviously this, you know, the shop it's not really a shop, it's a, you know, corner in a basement, but this is my shop. It's really small, especially when I start putting lumber behind this saw. It creeps this forward and it's a little tight. So I have to be smart about things. So this, having the rubber on both sides means that now it won't force me, like the Makita saw, because I want the rubber and I want the track on the finished piece, the finished material, and then away from the track is your offcut, because this will splinter more than this side will, because you have your little rubber edge. But I can put the saw, orient the saw in a comfortable position for me to push, instead of trying to put it the other way, get over there in that corner and push it this way. And yeah, you could take the track and put it on the offcut side, but then you're leaving crappy cut on your finished side. So this is kind of nice. For a small shop, I'm digging it. I'm just gonna hold the vacuum on here with my hand, but I mean, I know this isn't really a fair test. I really need to have the proper adapter, because I was able to fit this right on the Makita, which was a plus. So if I do not find an adapter, there is some little ribs. Looks like it's for a quick connect. So if I cannot find a connector, and this is like some proprietary system, I might take something and grind these ribs off and make it flat, so I can fit my hose on there. But I'm sure they sell some sort of adapter. So as far as dust collection, this saw does just as good as the Makita. They both, I mean, none of them get it all, none of them. But this gets everything that would float in the air, it grabs it. And it's just, you know, some minor stuff, but nothing crazy. So, and plus I was just holding the vacuum with my hand. You know, I didn't even have a proper connection. So I'm sure once I have a proper connection and I can use both hands instead of having one hand on here, be a lot better. But look at that. Look at that cut. Oh yeah. That is a clean cut. And then this, just in case you're interested, this is the offcut side. So usually this would be, you know, a lot uglier because you don't have that piece of rubber to hold the fibers down. But that looks pretty nice too. But we're going across grain on this top ply, so we'll have to go with the grain on another cut and see. I'm sure it's gonna be like, yeah, I'm sure it'll be good enough. Good enough. All right, so one last little piece to this video. The only reason I'm bringing up dust collection here is because, you know, everything that I had was working good up until this point where I got a new track saw and it has a quick connect. So it kind of screws up my whole dust collection system. So I either need to, I need to find some adapters and make it work, because I kind of like the idea of quick connect. But first off, I use box fans for just general box fan and a filter, just a regular house filter. Put it up near where you're working, and those things do an awesome job, like way better than you would think. You can go get a really expensive dust collection machine, and we use them at work all the time. And my boss was gonna buy like this big expensive industrial dust I'm like, dude, just get a $20 box fan or 5 of them, put a filter on it, and you can put them all over the place, and they work phenomenal. I mean, they're really nice. So I have 2 in the shop. They do a good job at taking dust out of the air, but I need to do a better job of collecting the dust at the source, especially if I want to do this for a while. So for the miter saw, and I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings here. I'm not trying to hurt your Makita feelings or your DeWalt feelings or your Milwaukee feelings. Because I was a big Milwaukee fanboy, and I am. For battery tools, stuff that has a battery connected to it. I like Milwaukee. I do. They're nice. They have a long warranty, 5 years. You can't beat the warranty, and they really put thought into some of their tools, the battery stuff. But when it comes to corded, I think DeWalt has the crown. I do. They're slightly less expensive, and some of their features are really nice. Really nice. And actually, it seems like their corded stuff is where they put their brain power into, because they do a really, really nice job with their corded shop tools. Their table saw, I love the thing. Their miter saw, I love the thing. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna try the track saw. But now with this quick connect, I had to figure out something. So, like I said, the miter saw, and actually, while we're here, I might as well go show you. Let's go look at it. So yeah, the miter saw. Let's see. I've got this Russo 5000 dust solution. It's like a dust bonnet or dust hood. I believe this thing was like $150. Made in USA. Always a plus. So this comes with I think it's like it's a 4 inch plastic hub that you can connect to like a serious dust collector. But I don't have a serious dust collector. So instead I got this just a PowerTech dust bag, and I just kind of tied it and cinched it on there. But you would need a serious dust collection system to pull enough air through this to really pull the sawdust down. But you can see down in the back, got a little hole down there. Every once in a while, just give this thing a little shake. It all kind of just falls down into the bag. But the first time I installed this, I didn't go under the saw. So this time I released the bolts in the back here. I pulled this tarp under the saw, and then I punctured a hole through the material so that I could get this thing underneath the saw as much as possible. So now when I cut stuff with this, and I took the dust bag off the back of the saw, because it would have hit the back of that anyway, and it doesn't really matter if dust blows in here. It's all good. It keeps the floor under the saw nice and clean. Like this is great. Best thing I've found for a miter saw. The vacuum, it does nothing. It does nothing. So yeah, you can see the bonnet, that Russo 5000 bonnet thing. That thing's nice. I don't have to hook up a vacuum. I don't have to worry about it. Just use the tool and kick the bag once in a while and everything kind of just goes to the bottom. Yeah, works good. But now we have table saw, floor cleaning tool, and the track saw to worry about. So I went to Amazon and searched for, what did I type in? DeWalt Quick Connect Vacuum Adapter. That's exactly what I put. And there it is. DeWalt DWV 9000. Universal connector. So don't quote me on this, but it looks like OD would fit inside 2.5 inch hose, or maybe not the hose, but the end. Then ID, inside diameter, it has 1 7/8 hose threads, so that you can take the hose and thread it on, just like what I have. And I like 1 7/8 the best for shop, in your shop, just collecting dust. I'm not collecting anything big. I'm not doing demo debris. I don't need 2.5 inch. It's very bulky. It's heavy. You know what I mean? It's too much. 1 7/8, I feel like you get better suction, and it's concentrated on a small area. I like it. And this also has looks like it has 3 little marbles, steel balls that just quick connect. I don't see any rubber O-rings. Maybe they don't need it, but I feel like the more seals you have, the better. And maybe you could stuff an O-ring in there. I don't know. So this would solve the track saw right here, this DWV 9000. But now I have table saw and floor cleaning tool. So, if you find the DWV 9000, you scroll down a little bit on Amazon, and there's a frequently bought together. Convenient. DeWalt DWV 9140 2.25 inch OD adapter. So this goes from 2.25 down to quick connect. So that should fit right into the table saw. I'm gonna permanently mount it somehow, whether it's a screw, whether it's some tape, something. I want to permanently mount that to the table saw so I can just click, snap it onto the track saw. And then now we have floor cleaning tool, which this is the only issue I found with the DeWalt Quick Connect, is that they don't have too many adapters. There's not a lot out there. So I got 2 of these 2.25 OD adapters, and I'm gonna have to jerry rig something for the floor cleaning thing. But that's not a big deal. Yeah, I don't care about that. But yeah, this should work. This should work. But anyways, guys, that's it for this one. Make sure you subscribe, give the video a thumbs up, or not. I don't care. See you in the next one.